Welcome to the next episode of Dog Walks with the CEO. So, thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt. As ever, say hello, Cooper. Well, the weather's broken, good news, and it's starting to cool down a little bit. We even had a slight smattering of rain today, and today's going to be a bit of a screening related, well, a very screening related topic. But just before that, in one of my previous ones, I mentioned that Cooper was part of me getting healthier and these long walks, hence the reason I'm out of breath when I'm talking to you. But update on that, I decided to take the next step and joined Weight Watchers last week. So if anyone's at all interested, I'll keep you up to date. I'm not due to weigh in, but it's feeling quite positive. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about references. The times I get asked, and through these videos that we've been doing, been asked a couple of times about, talk about references, the value of references. So I guess the first thing to talk about is, what is a reference? Because it's a pretty common misconception as to what a reference is, and it's a generic term that everybody uses. So actually on references, there's two different categories here. One is a reference. Now, a reference traditionally and still now is to find out more information about an individual, how they fit in with that role, maybe how they fit in with the culture, what their previous performance has been like. And there's a reference. But actually what most people now still call a reference is not a reference, it's an employment verification. And what I mean by employment verification is it's saying, yes, that person worked there between these dates. Yes, there was a job title, and maybe there's the reason, this is the reason that they left: resignation, dismissal, end of contract, whatever that may be. And more employment verifications is what actually everyone is looking for. Quite often we get clients that go, no, I want a reference. And my response is always, but do you give references? And they go, oh, no, we'll only give dates. It's like, well, there you go. You can't expect it to come back to you. So the value in these items. So what's the value in a reference? So yes, they are valuable, they are useful, they are difficult to obtain. I caveat that with saying that there's certain regulatory environments, such as financial services, healthcare, education, places like that, where they are still asking job-related questions, and those job-related questions invariably, if they're in a regulated environment and we're asking it of another regulated business, they have an obligation to respond to us. So yes, those in that scenario, references are very useful. In fact, they're vital for the protection of your business, and also for the protection of the people that interact with your business, so healthcare or vulnerable adults, children, anyone, for example. So yes, they're very valuable, and they're not that challenging to get, to be honest. I mean, all references in employment education can be challenging. So yes, they're valuable. Outside of that, are they valuable? My opinion is no. You move to employment verification outside of that. And the reason I say that is the effort that you need to go to obtain a reference outside of that is immense. And you need to question yourself, well, where am I going to get that reference from? I'm going to get it from a co-worker, a previous line manager. It's not going to come from a source that the company can confirm, i.e. HR is particularly where it comes from. And then you start getting into a situation where you question the validity of the reference, because to be fair, a candidate is not going to give you a referee who's going to give them a bad reference. Hence the reason it's important to make sure you go direct to source, you go direct to the HR department, and they're not going to respond to those kind of references. So is it worth including references in your process? Yes, if you're regulated. Outside of that, no. Then we move on to employment verifications. Is it important, and employment verifications, let's say dates, etc., and things like that. Is it important that we include those in the process of recruiting and onboarding new people? 100%. It relies on, so you're recruiting somebody based on a CV. You're recruiting somebody based on their honesty in the CV. We need to check that. We know that a staggering amount of CVs have factual errors in them. And you're recruiting someone based on their experience at various companies. And the only way to do that is to verify that they worked there in that time. So references, I'm a big fan of in the right environment. Employment verifications, I'm an even bigger fan of. They are not always easy to get. If they were, then we wouldn't be doing it. But they are vitally important. And a lot of people will be quite cynical and like, oh Matt, of course you're going to be a fan of references or employment verification. That's what you do as a business. It's not really. It's the biggest pain in our business you could possibly imagine. Most of what we do revolves around data, aggregating data, taking data from various sources, presenting it back to our clients. That's, that runs well. References or client verifications involve interacting with humans and getting them to respond to us. So my biggest teams, my referencing team, our biggest challenges are always around references. The longest check in time to complete, invariably, is a reference or employment verification. So, for commercial purposes, it's not it's not ideally what we want to be doing. But from a client perspective, 100%. And I mentioned previously about focusing on things you're good at. We are bloody good at getting references and employment verifications. It's something that we've crafted. It's not just as easy as picking out a couple of emails and hoping for a response. It's absolutely not. There's so much more to it, which has allowed us over the years to make sure we get them quicker, we get them more accurate, and that's what our clients are all looking for. So there's kind of my high level view on references and employment verifications. I suppose the last thing to say on that is there's a lot of providers out there that use an automated referencing process or automated employment verification process through system generated activity. And in the scenario that they do it currently, people, it doesn't work. If someone's going to say it's okay, our ATS or our HR system has got a referencing module in, be prepared to do a lot of work, because it doesn't work, automated references. And if it did, we wouldn't be doing it. There's no point to us doing it because all our clients could do it, or if it did, we'd be doing it. We do tens of thousands of references and employment verifications, so do not think we would have automated it by now. It's a lazy process, automation. It has its place, so I would say our process is semi-automated, but it absolutely doesn't work. So don't get pulled into the hype of, well, this will automate your process. Having said that, I suppose, and to close off, is there's some really exciting, oh God, and again, I find it exciting. There's some things that I find really exciting going on in our industry. There's some technology coming soon that will massively improve the process. It will include things like blockchain, etc., and things like that. And we're also currently working to launch data-driven digital employment verifications using data sources available to us through working with partners, and that will be amazing. And I will do a special when we're ready to launch it, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. I'll do a special dog walk. Cooper will be very pleased, maybe an extra dog walk, to talk about that. So again, thanks for tuning in. Any questions, fire them over. I'm always there. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I don't really do Twitter or the like, so LinkedIn's probably the best way. So yeah, thanks for your time, and we'll speak soon. That's goodbye from me, Coops. And it's goodbye from the little furball. Thanks.